What's up everybody? My name is Chris Hirschberger Esch, and the title of today's video is how to stay motivated. But that title is a little bit misleading. I'm not going to tell you how to stay motivated. You know why? Because motivation is a lie. But the good news is you don't have to be motivated to do your important work. So I'm gonna give you my best tips on how to do work whether or not you feel motivated. But first, let's dismember that stinking motivation myth. Most of us are taught to believe that you need to feel motivated to do things. And motivation is that positive energy, that thing that makes you want to do the thing that you're about to or that you need to do. So basically, motivation arrives and then we act. Sometimes this works. The issues arrive, however, when the motivation doesn't arrive when we need it to. When we have a big project that is almost due and we haven't started it, or we have a difficult working out class and we simply would rather stay home. And if we believe that we need motivation to do those things, then we are stuck waiting and hoping for that magical motivation feeling to come back soon so we can go do the things that we want to do. The problem as I see it though is it actually works the other way around, right? First, you need to act, and then from action often comes the motivation that you need, that you want, that you're looking for. You don't need it. Like, I often only get motivated to run after I've already run the first mile or so and my heart rate is up. I'm often only motivated to build a web design project after I've spent a couple laborious hours of planning and looking for inspiration and mapping everything out that needs to be done. Then the motivation comes after I've already gotten the ball rolling, after I've gotten over that first initial bit of inertia. So the key to living a productive life is to separate action from motivation. Learn to act even if you don't feel like it, and learn to do things when they aren't pleasant. Now, I'm not just gonna leave you with that. That's not super helpful. I'm gonna give you 3 quick tips on how to make that practice a little more doable in life. And the first one is kind of unconventional, but it actually really works well. That is taking cold showers. You don't have to go into the cold shower, especially if it's a cold day. You can take a normal hot shower, but then at the end, I always turn the water back to as far cold as it goes and try to stay in there for at least 30 seconds, trying to take deep breaths, trying to not spend the whole time like freaking out, but like tell myself, yeah, it's cold on my skin, but like don't freak out about it. I found that to be a really, really helpful practice in learning how to do things that are uncomfortable. I've seen many times when I've wanted to do a workout and just not felt like doing it, I figured out how to just show up anyway. Or when there's a potentially daunting social task that I'm gonna throw myself into, learning to just like move your body forward even when your head is screaming not to. The second tip is to schedule things. Get in a routine, a habit of doing the things that you otherwise might push off or procrastinate. So if I have a big project I need to start, I plan out what time the next day I will start it, and I do that thing first. And whether I feel like it, whether I'm feeling motivated, whether I'm feeling inspired or not, if 8 o'clock rolls around and that's the time I decided I'm gonna start this project, I'm gonna start the project. I don't have to create anything special, but I do need to sit at my computer, open the proper applications, and put in an effort for the allotted time. And same thing with workouts. If you go to a group class and you're committed that on Tuesdays at noon, you show up at this place, you try to do that every single week, it's much easier than trying to, at some point this afternoon, find the time to work out. And lastly, accountability. Tell other people what you're gonna do. I never have trouble getting things finished on time or close to on time for clients when I have committed to a deadline. But my own personal projects, they can get stuck forever and ever and ever. And so I've learned that things that are really important with a business mentor I have, Patrick, has been amazing in trying to get this nonprofit guide that I was working on for almost a year and I was stuck. I kept telling him I will get this to you by the next time we meet. I didn't always make that deadline, but it had that motivation that kept me going, and we finally got that thing launched. So find other people that are holding you accountable, that's not just yourself. Then consider how much more unpleasant it will be to let them down than it will be to do this task you don't feel like doing it. So as Nike says, just do it. It is a brilliant slogan that is so applicable to life. Stop waiting for motivation. Stop waiting for those special little fun feelings, particularly if you're stuck at home during this COVID-19 outbreak. It is hard to find motivation. Sometimes it's not there, but I promise you, if you show up and you do the work anyway, the motivation, that good feeling, that positive energy may come after the fact, but stop waiting for it. Be well, people. Stay healthy. Stay safe.